Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm getting the post done to let everyone know on X that we are live because I forgot to do it earlier. And
Shame
X
on
likes to randomly delete all it used to be on when it was Twitter, basically, that's like the most emojis you used would show up, basically. So like most used, and then fall would be like the emojis themselves, basically. It randomly just does away with that, basically. So if I don't continuously fucking post on this damn fucking site, it goes, oh, we might as well just get rid of this shit. So you gotta search for this crap yourself again. It is so fucking stupid. Anyway. But we are going to talk the sequel to Home Alone. Home Alone from 1990. The sequel came out in 1992, and that is Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. So basically, Kevin is once again on his own, but this time he's not left at home. He mistakes. There's a mistake made in the airport. He follows the wrong man. He assumes it's his father and ends up on a plane to New York rather than Florida. And who goes to Florida for Christmas? Even to visit family, I'd be like, no, you come up here. I'm not going down where there's palm trees and shit. Nothing against Florida, but I want actual Christmas atmosphere. Basically, who goes to Florida?
Here's the thing. Have you ever seen a palm tree lit up?
Lit up. I mean, decorated. No, I've seen palm
Christmas
trees
lights lit up.
No, I've actually technically yes.
They look like something totally different. Let's just.
They look like they look phallic. To me, they look phallic.
They look phallic, and they look like they're ejaculating.
Yeah. So I have seen them. I have seen them lit up. So
much that they became memes.
Pretty much. So, let me hit post. Okay, but there it is, chat. But we are talking the sequel, and this is actually a solid sequel. I know I say hello to the chat. I know Trey said he prefers this over the original. I do very much enjoy this. What this is just a teensy bit step down for me. It's it follows the same beats as the first one. Basically, I'm not exactly saying it's major negative, but at the same time, it's okay, it's kind of basically copy paste delete, just switch it up a little bit. Copy paste, switch it up a little bit. But instead of saying I'm still very much enjoy it, and I think for the most part, the reason why I enjoy it is again the performances of Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, as they're no longer the wet bandits, they're the sticky bandits now, basically. So they've broken out of prison. We'll get into talking about that scenario. And Tim Curry, he can pretty much do no wrong in whatever performance he gives. So he's basically this snooty concierge who sees this kid walking by himself to the Plaza Hotel. It's an incredibly expensive hotel, and I actually went on one of those inflation calculator websites to see what it would cost now, given what it cost back then versus now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I basically set it for, where is it? All right, close the site. Hold on, let me just open it back up. Where are you? I don't know why I closed the site.
One thing I will say is that I don't feel that it was much copy and paste. I think that they actually stepped it up a little bit, because Kevin's motivations are similar, yes, but there's added motivation to why he goes after. He actually initiates going after the wet bandits in this one.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's entirely copy and paste. I just say it follows similar beats, basically. It follows similar beats. So it's not so it's I'm not saying I might as well just you might as well just be watching the first one rather than the second one. No, the second one does have enough differences to it that it stands out by itself, but at the same time it's instead of old man Marley in the first one, Kevin encounters this homeless woman, basically, and kind of he imparts his wisdom to her when like he's talking to her about like why she's in a why she's in the situation she is and so forth. So it's like a little bit like just kind of like here and there follows the same beats, but at the same time it's a very much enjoyable sequel. And again, the traps basically make the movie.
Oh yeah.
But
I do love the actress who played the pigeon lady. That woman was
she was very good
to this movie.
She was very good. This one does have just a little bit of an edge again because of Tim Curry. Like he also makes the movie as well. But Tim Curry and Rob Schneider were actually requested for this movie. Like basically it's not like they put out all feelers for auditions to see who was like right for the role. No, they were actually called because they were wanted for these roles. Basically, John Hughes and Chris Columbus I think either one. I can't remember which one. I think it was Chris Columbus, but he wanted Tim Curry and Rob Schneider for these roles. Like basically there was no other I think like Jack Nicholson was considered for Tim Curry's role.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But he was unable to do it. I'm thankful he was unable to do it because no offense to Jack Nicholson, he looks like he's ready to go, like he's ready to snap in whatever role he's doing, basically. Tim Curry has that snootiness that works for this role. So, like, in how he performs, like, as a character.
Yeah,
crazy. So.
Yeah, he has a comedic edge. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jack Nicholson does have a comedic edge, but it is a more edgier comedic edge. Where Tim Curry, he had the comedic edge that was required for this film.
Yeah.
As much as I love Jack Nicholson, that would have been the poorest choice ever made in the history of television and movies.
And I put it for 1991 because even though this movie came out in 1992, it came out in November of 1992, but it's set in December, for Christmas. So I put it for December 1991 instead of 1992. So 1991 to 2024, the cost per day. If you look at the bill, like there is like for the hotel, basically per the daily rate, it was $955. This is an expensive hotel. It was $955 per day to stay at the Plaza Hotel. That would be the equivalent of that. Yeah, back then, $900. If you look at it, I could try to catch it if I can get a still of it after we start talking about it, and after I say hello to the chat. In today's dollars, that would be $2,212.16 a day. Like a day.
$2,200 for a day.
For a day. A day's stay at that hotel would be a little over $2,200. But anyway, we are going to go into the movie, ladies and gentlemen. I say hello to the chat from the top. I see Trey Courtney. What is up? Warren chatting. Yes, you can mess with a lot of things, but you can't mess with the kids on Christmas. Yeah.
Best line in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is my reading stream. I set it up for 9 p.m. tonight. So basically, once I'm done with this, hop off, change my shirt, and it looks like I should be able to read the last 4 chapters of The Hobbit because they are on the short side. So, Mike Hill, hello. The Sticky Bandits, yes. Gigawatt, good to see you. Of all the hotels in Florida, that's the best one they could find. So, yeah, well, I guess it was. It used to be better, because even Uncle Frank comments it wasn't this bad on our honeymoon. So it says they've been there before, and it's gone downhill.
Yeah, it's called the monsoon season.
Well, no, it's not just that. I think it's
winter.
No, I'm saying, but I'm not. I don't think he's commenting on the weather. I think he's commenting on how the hotel itself looks, because he says it wasn't this bad on our honeymoon. So yeah, pretty much. If you look at it, it doesn't look like it's been well kept, and some.
Yeah.
So. Ditterbell says, I just remember the Honest trailer and the Christopher Columbus that didn't kill any Indians. Yes. So, Chris Columbus actually has a cameo in this movie. I was watching this movie. I watched this movie Sunday, and then I rewatched it today, and I was actually paying attention. All right, and there's 2 cameos in there that I was like, holy shit! Why didn't I catch that? Recently, there's 2 cameos, and one of them is Chris Columbus. He has a cameo in this movie. And I'm like, is that? Oh shit, that is him.
Which one?
Chris Columbus, his cameo.
Where was his cameo?
Well, I was gonna wait, but if
All
you
right. Yeah, show it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to show it. Yeah, but it's like I was watching the scene. I'm like, oh crap! And there's another cameo. There's like, that person looks really fucking familiar to me. Then I looked at the cast. I'm like, that's fucking why.
I'm guessing it's not the Trump one.
No, that's kind of obvious. Basically, the reason why Trump has a cameo in this movie is because he owned the Plaza. He owned like the Plaza Hotel, so and they wanted to film there. So he's like, okay, I'll let you film here, but I want a cameo in the movie. And originally, Chris Columbus was going to edit that out because he was like, it's like, what's the point? It's like doesn't add much, it's like kind of a thing. It's not like he was against Trump, but it was more like, well, it doesn't really add much to the plot. It's like, it's kind of like, oh, hey, it's Trump, sort of like cameo.
Canada did Mr. Toxicity.
So yeah.
Yeah, Canada edited it out because they. I mean, if I was Trump, it's like you put my cameo back in your public television Home Alone 2 airings, or I buy your fucking country.
But Columbus ended up leaving it in because it actually tested very well with audiences. So that's why he ended up keeping the cameo in, which is like funny.
Well, that's because back then, before he became president and stuff, Trump was a big name back then.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing cameos all through the 90s.
They actually removed, like, there was a carpet. You know the scene where, like, Kevin is, like, running from Tim Curry's character, Snyder, and he slides through the desk clerk's legs, played by Dana Ivey, I believe. There used to be a carpet there, so they removed the carpet so that way he could, like, do that. And Trump liked it so much that he, like, left the carpet out. He, like it was actually works better. He actually works, so he left the carpet out. He didn't put it back in. Soul Assassin, hello.
If I could ever get Trump on, or if I ever get Trump on my channel, I mean, private goal, folks. But if I ever get Trump on my channel, I would definitely ask him questions about Home Alone 2.
Marv nearly dies multiple times in this one. Yes. And there was like a point where I'll go into like a little bit of the trivia, but like one of the traps actually had Daniel Stern actually had Chris Columbus dying of laughing that he almost didn't shout cut.
Yeah.
So, Zach Rout, hello, good to see you. I am Mr. Toxicity. What is up? Yep. Santa Megatron. Donald Trump is the real hero of this movie. He was the only person to help Kevin in the hotel. Pretty much. Calix, hello. And I love like the look Donald Trump gives like Kevin as Kevin's walking away. It's like it's like because Kevin's like interesting. It's like that was interesting because Kevin's like, oh, thank you, and just like walks away, like doesn't even like register that he just asked Donald Trump like where the check-in is.
Yeah, basically. Down the hall and to your left.
Yeah.
And but then anyway, Donald Trump looks back. It's like, it's weird.
Yeah. So let me get this movie started. Like, there's some things I don't think like we really have to like rehash necessarily.
Yeah.
Like the family, they're pretty much like from what I can tell, bring back most of the same actors. I don't know about the kids, but like most of the same actors.
Oh, they're all the same.
Okay, the one girl I was like, is that one of the sisters? Like, she looked like, I know it's like been a couple years, but I was like, she kind of looks different. But anyway, so it's like same family. Uncle Frank's still a cheapskate, and I love the fact that Kevin points that out, like literally calls him Mr. Cheapskate.
Yeah.
Yes, he was also a Democrat back then, and he had the audacity to actually walk away from his party when they like basically began losing their way and run with the wrong letter in front of his name.
Yeah,
so if
that's the whole reason.
Yeah, that's it. If he had run on the Democrat platform, they would love him. But because he ran as a Republican, oh no, he's worse than Hitler. Elon Musk, as far as I know, is still possibly a registered Democrat, but he's also kind of left the Democratic Party.
They're classical Democrats. They're lifelong Democrats too.
Yeah.
And it's like, we didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left us, but we're not getting into politics.
But anyway, no, we're not gonna. But anyway, yes, it was like. But yeah, like again, Canada did remove the Trump cameo because, well, Canada's a bunch of put. Well, I do. There are people who live in Canada that I do like. All right. Okay, so I do know some people who live in Canada. I do like them, but for the most part, the country is full of pussies, and because well, Trudeau followers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Hello,
Gravy, no worries.
What was the one thing I was going to say?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I just had it and it just left my head.
Mm-hmm.
No, anyway.
I might come back.
Yeah. Might take a while, but it'll come back.
No, they don't have the Bret Harts anymore. Now they have the Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's wrestling if you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But
I used to
anyway,
watch
it. Yeah, so I got back into watching wrestling, and there's some wrestlers I'm like, why are you still around? But anyway,
yeah.
So basically, the scenario where it's like in this case, like in the first movie, it's like Kevin retaliates against Buzz because Buzz ate all of Kevin's cheese pizza, which I don't blame Kevin. Like that is the shit thing to do. This one here, Kevin retaliates because Buzz decides he's going to do a prank on him during a recital. This recital here. So, yeah, I can't stand him either. But anyway, so he decides to pull a prank on him, and in Buzz fashion, like I don't the family accepts it. I'd be like. That is the most. How do I put this? Fake apology.
Oh yeah.
It's like the way he said it. I was like, you're like, I could even not being an audience member, if I were member of family, that is so fake.
Well, he gives it away, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yeah, I'm like.
That's a total giveaway.
Yeah. And even then, they essentially pick him over Kevin, and Kevin refuses to apologize. And again, I don't blame him because his family accepted obvious bullshit apology. So I don't blame Kevin. But Kevin, again, at least this time he was one ahead of the family because he did not trust them at all to wake him up. So he got up himself and waited in the van.
Yeah. And I like how in this one they wipe out. They don't knock over the statue. They break the statue.
Yeah. And the talk boy Kevin has was created purely for this film. That talk boy did not exist before this film. But kids then wanted it. So Tiger Electronics decided, you know what, we're going to kind of procure the rights to it.
I had one.
I had one too.
Yeah.
I had one too. But what he has in here didn't exist as a toy.
Yeah.
Before this movie at the time, and it became popular with kids because kids were like, I want one. So Tiger Electronics procured the rights to make one, and then hence we got the Talk Boy and the Talk Girl.
And the Talk Boy pen, which I also had.
So we would not have had that had not been for this movie. So merchandising,
and it had the same tools, the slow down voice and whatnot, and you could record. It also had the Home Alone 2 voice track from the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So without this movie, we would not have had the Talk Boy, Talk Girl, or the Talk Boy pen.
I did not know that there was a Talk Girl. What the hell is the Talk Girl? Is
pink and purple? It was basically just a Talk Boy. It was pink and purple and called a Talk Girl.
Got it.
Pretty much.
I wonder if they're still around.
But anyway, yep. So Kevin has that in this movie, and he uses it to his advantage after he accidentally follows the wrong man. He assumes it's his father in the airport, and so I'm kind of gonna jump ahead because we're not gonna talk scene by scene basically. But they get to the airport. Kevin's rummaging around his dad's bag for batteries, pauses to put batteries in his talk boy, and there happens to be a man in the airport who's wearing a similar looking long coat as his dad. So he follows that man instead of his father and ends up on a plane to New York instead of Florida. This, I want to see if I can get a pause on the cameo.
Holy shit. Lego Ideas Home Alone McAllister house. It cost $300.
Oh wow. Does this woman look familiar?
Slightly, yes.
That's Ali Sheedy.
From Breakfast Club.
Yep. That's Ali Sheedy.
The princess, if I remember correctly.
No, she was the basket case.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lego is pricey. Like I want the Barador set, and that's like $500.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I also I had on my throne wish list saved for later the Home Alone house, and like you're right, it is like $300. I'm like, oh. Yeah, I'm like I was saying, I was like watching this movie, and I'm like watching this, and I'm watching this scene, and I'm like, she looks really familiar. And I looked up the trivia for this movie, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Ali Sheedy.
So I just looked up the Talk Boy Home Alone, brand new, sealed. $1,700 on eBay.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Used one is $545. That's the pre-owned and used. $545.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! Now I wish I had treated mine with a little bit more respect.
So yeah, she was. Somewhere we still have ours. I don't think we got rid of ours basically. So somewhere we still have them. I'm assuming. But she was originally tapped to play Kevin's mom.
Oh wow.
She was originally cast to play the part later taken by Catherine O'Hara, but as a favor to John Hughes, she does this cameo as in this movie.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. Something wrong, sir?
Yeah, I'll be fine. it's like,
yeah.
And then like he's in shock, but then like the realization dawns on him that I can do whatever I want. It's kind of like, like the realization dawns on him when he's like the first movie when he like realizes he's like by himself and there's no one to tell him what to do. He realizes that he's in New York. He has his dad's credit cards. He has the money, and there's no one to tell him what to do.
I mean, that's the thing about this kid, or about Kevin McAllister. Everybody loves to say the kid's a troublemaker. He's a mischief maker and whatnot. This kid is actually one of the most kindest souls in the history of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything he does out of love for his family or for love of another.
Well, Kevin had his bag, so I'm guessing to like for like the plausibility, he would like it's plausible he would have assumed that Kevin still had his bag, because like he saw like literally Kevin was there with them at the airport. So at that point, they don't realize Kevin went the wrong way, and so he's like not thinking that his bag is now in New York.
Yeah, I have it
until they realize
Kevin has my wallet. Yeah,
until they realize that Kevin's missing when and they're like filing the missing child report while they're in Florida. And he realized that's when it dawns on him, because like now it's like shock's wearing off and
yeah, I love that whole sequence where they realize it. Give this to Kevin. Give this to Kevin. Give this to Kevin. Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here. Kevin's not here. And freaking Maureen O'Hara. Kevin's not here. What?
Yeah, like the dad was the only one to go like, what?
And then she realizes and she starts laughing her ass off. But it's after she faints. You see this girl in the background looking like, what did I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
She's looking like, and she looks at the camera like, what the hell just happened? Oh my God.
So, I think I need to take back. I think the cost was like $850 $55 per night, but still it was like expensive. But Kevin like spent like what $967 on room service
On room service alone, I believe. Yeah.
and alone in this movie. Okay, would you open up? Thank you. $967 in today's money would be $2,240.
So a little bit over the ticket price.
Yeah.
So yeah, this kid or today, folks, if they did the Trump, I believe it's now the Trump Hotel. I don't think it's called the Plaza anymore.
Mhm.
But yeah, it'd be 4,000. That would be a 4K bill, man. $4,400.
Yeah.
Kevin, you spent $4,000 on room service.
Yeah.
Or $2,000 on, or $2,200 on room service.
He buys firecrackers at this Chinese
Oh yeah.
Chinese shop. Originally, back in 2001, the scene where he walks up to the two towers was removed out of respect, after what happened. But then,
Yeah.
in 2018, it was put back in. So, because
Oh my God.
you see him in this version.
Yeah, because he takes the pictures, or he takes all his pictures from the tower, and it's like, or from the towers, and I'm like, no, I have not seen this movie since I was younger, before the towers fell, and it's like, God, I miss those buildings. I never knew how much I missed them until I seen this movie.
Yeah. So, all right. So, we're gonna kind of skip forward a little bit where he goes to the. Oh
yeah.
We got okay.
Smell that, Marv? Fish. It's
Yeah.
freedom.
It's freedom.
Oh, it's fish.
No, it's fish. It's freedom. So basically, the wet bandits have escaped. We don't know how
Yeah.
they escaped, but they managed to escape.
During a riot, according to the paper.
Okay, I couldn't remember because I was taking care of Christmas presents while I was watching this again periodically. So I was like, they escape,
Well, that's what I'm here for.
and they've made their way to New York, and they're their plan is basically to do a big score, get a bunch of money so they could buy fake passports and hightail it to a foreign country. Preferably, they don't say this, but I would imagine preferably one that has no extradition treaty with the United States. But in Marv's mind, he's like, Arizona?
Yeah.
When Harry says foreign country, and Harry's just why? It's he doesn't look why are we friends?
Yeah.
But,
I love that.
anyways,
And then they're thinking about going off to Rio, because
Yeah.
he's like, and then we're off to Rio. And it's like, Marv, you want to tell him our whole life story? Jesus, shut the hell up, man.
yes. So, and there's Harry's the one who's trying to figure out what the score will be. So we can't we can't go back to robbing houses. We're in New York. That's not exactly an easy thing to do here. So what would give us the biggest score the quickest? And he comes up with, and in his mind, it's what stores earn the most money around Christmas time?
And that no one would think to rob.
And no one would think to rob, which is smart on his part. Toy
Candy
stores.
stores.
Well, Marv says candy stores, but it's he's 9-year-olds rob candy stores, Marv.
Yeah.
But toy stores. So,
Yeah.
But that's a little bit later. But I want to talk about, because Kevin gets to the Plaza Hotel, he uses a talk boy to fake his way into a registration, making it sound like an older man that's making the registration.
And I'm thinking to myself, how did that work? The father.
Yeah, that's literally what a child would say, because an adult would be like, "This is Peter McAllister."
Yeah.
It would not
The
say father. If the father was mentioned, I'm traveling with my son, basically.
Yeah.
That's how an adult would say it. It's basically the kid is I'm Peter McAllister, the father. That would have been a huge fucking tip off. This is not an adult making this registration.
Somebody's getting fired.
Yeah. Hey, Diego. I say there's worse movies you could want to rewatch, and so there it is.
That's
So
our
let's watch-
whole goal, Diego. Discussing these movies, we want you to watch them.
So
Trying to convince you. And I've done that with Mara a few times when she checked in on a stream or two of mine.
Mm-hmm. So,
Holy shit,
but
now I
anyway.
wanna watch the movie.
But anyway, so let's talk. I think like the big two, like the biggest, like of the three that Kevin encounters in this hotel dealing with like the registration and everything is Tim Curry and Rob Schneider. Those are the two. So what did you think of Tim Curry?
Oh my god, man. If ever there was a character that should have been named Sleaze, Mr. Sleaze, this character would have been, would have been named that character. He plays the character so well, a pure sleazy asshole. And Rob Schneider, if ever there was a character that was named,
He's kind of,
I don't know.
He's kind of like Weasley. Weasley in a sense, where it's like he's not like
he's doing
not
his
entirely
job.
not entirely like that basically, but like he does kind of the bidding of Tim Curry's character because like he's told keep an eye on that young man, basically.
Fellow,
so, yeah.
But also he really likes his job because it rakes in a lot of money because he's freaking at the counter. It's just
I mean, hell, I'd be
tip public.
Yeah, hell, I'd be a bellhop in that hotel too. Like on top of my pay, I get to keep those tips, and people who stay here are fucking rich. So yeah, I'd be a bellhop there too.
I mean, shit, yeah. I actually thought the lady hotel worker was named Maggie Smith for it. Not that attractive.
No. She kind of, in a way, I could see the similarities between the two. I know that's Dana Ivey, I believe is the actress's name. You would know her from the Addams Family movies from the early 90s.
Right. She played what's his name's ex-wife and became cousin It's wife.
Yeah. So.
And
it couldn't have been this one couldn't have been long after the first one or something like that because the first one was 1991 or something. They're literally around.
This was 92, but but they take place a year apart.
Yeah, I'm saying they're so close together. It's not really that far apart at all. Yeah. So they're very close together.
But I love Rob Schneider's character to finish off the point because he's just, I like how the whole tip thing goes. He gives him some gum and he's like, yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry, you'd be wanting a tip. No, thanks, sir. I have plenty of tip left over. He pulls out like $400
a wad of cash. He's like $250s on top, basically. And it's like,
it's like, no tip? All right. No. Wait a minute.
Because hold on, where's, this scene here.
Oh, shit.
Where Tim Curry pokes his head because he's kind of spying on it, and Kevin's apparently ready for the possibility of someone coming in to check to see if there's actually an adult staying in this room.
Yeah.
And he uses this. We didn't talk about this, but earlier in the movie, one of Kevin's aunts sent him an inflatable clown balloon to play with in the pool. And I'm like, yeah, even on Kevin's a kid. He's not that young. That would be something a toddler would like to play with. But he used it to his advantage, rigged up this pulley system so he can move this inflatable clown around to make it look like there's someone in the shower. And on top of that, he'd recorded his Uncle Frank singing in the shower earlier in the movie. And I think that scene was actually ad-libbed by the actor.
Yeah.
Because the line, "Get out of here, you nosy little pervert," that line was ad-libbed during that scene. So I think Chris Columbus basically just told the actor, have at it in this scene. Do what you want to do in the shower sort of situation. So the actor it's singing the song basically as he's in the shower doing all this, and then he ad-libbed that line.
Yeah.
When he,
Get out of here, you nosy little pervert! I'm gonna slap you silly.
Yes. So Kevin recorded that, and recorded that. So I love this. That's like like he times it perfectly. And like that's what Tim Curry hears.
Yeah. And then he cracks his freaking shin on a dang stool.
Oh, and Rob Schneider basically like when he's like telling Kevin like trivia about the hotel, it's like Herbert Hoover stayed on this very floor. The vacuum guy?
No.
The president.
Just kind of funny considering who owns the hotel later becomes president.
In a weird way, I love how Rob Schneider handles this scene. He just holds up the box. He's like, "Your drawer, sir."
Jeez, don't flash these babies around here. There could be girls on this floor.
Oh yes. And Kevin is also watching a movie again. The sequel, like a fake sequel to the fake film from the first movie, and this is Angels with Even Filthier Souls. So
right. I couldn't figure out who the actress was.
Yeah, and Chris Columbus apparently studied a lot of like 1930s and 1940s film noir, so that way he actually captured like what genuine film noir would be if like Kevin was like this were a real movie. So the scene, instead of like between two basically mobsters, it's between the first mobster from the first movie who gunned down Snakes, and in this case he's gunning down his girlfriend essentially, who's basically running around on him. So we get the Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal, and a Happy New Year. So, and he uses that to his advantage, which is one of the best scenes I think in this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the best scenes in this movie. I'm trying to think. So there's two other characters we want to talk about.
Oh yeah,
and that's the Duncan's Toy Store. Like this toy store actually does not exist. It was created purely for this movie, but this was like a child's dream store because there's like 2 levels, like filled with toys.
Oh yeah.
And I think who was originally supposed to be Mr. Duncan? Hold on, I gotta look up the trivia again. Hold on, I think someone.
If you're hearing it in the background, I do apologize. Anything from my background.
Hold on. Okay, originally Chris Columbus wanted Gene Wilder for the role of Mr. Duncan. But Gene Wilder turned it down because he had starred in a box office bomb from 1991, and that's like the reason why he turned it down, basically, because his previous movie was a box office bomb. So it's like that's the reason he turned the movie down, and that's when Eddie Bracken stepped in. So, but I like Eddie Bracken. That's actually an insult to Eddie Bracken. Eddie Bracken is like a very good comedic actor because I've seen him in like his earlier roles. He was around before this movie. He had been around for decades. So he's actually from like the golden age of Hollywood, and he was a very good decently good comedic actor. So, nice. And he's intelligent.
I mean, I love how this scene connects to the later on in the movie.
Yeah.
Because you get the turtle dove situation, and then you also, or you see that Kevin knows who the kid or who he is because he sees the painting. So, yeah. I mean, this movie has great setup moments for later on to pay off. It really does.
Okay. Let me see if I can find. Trying to find where the cameo is. I should have marked the time down. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you, Mr. Tex, for the super sticker. It's a smiley face with sunglasses. Very much appreciated. I'm going to stop sharing just so I can play the scene and find it because I can't remember when exactly the cameo appears in this.
All right.
Because I don't want to play for too long. Because if I do, even without sound, YouTube is like, "Oh no, that's a no." Now, like, most people probably would not have caught this. It's one of those like situations where I was like really like just paying attention. But again, even without sound, it'll be like, because it's longer than 9 seconds, I'll get hit. But I wish I could play this because, again, this toy store was like a kid's dream. And I wanted one of like the houses that the Harry and Marv are hiding in. So sorry, it's going to be a little bit chat because I'm trying to find where it is. Yeah, because Kevin basically, to apologize for the night before, Kevin is able to finagle a limousine with the cheese pizza. So he asks the limo driver if he knows any good toy stores. Okay, here it is. I gotta play it a little bit because I'll like fast forward past it if I hit the 10-second thing. All right. That man there. Probably wouldn't know him. But I was like, is that? Because I've seen him. Like pictures of him. That is Chris Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that's his real daughter he's holding. Because his daughter made an appearance in another movie about 9 years later.
Would it have been called? Oh, I don't know. Harry Potter.
Yeah, but I believe that's his real, like, because she made an appearance again in one of his films. So here it is.
There you go.
I was like, I didn't but I don't think people catch that, basically, unless you're like really paying attention. So.
And I'm thinking of
I thought that was John Ritter. No, that's Chris Columbus. So, and then Mr. Duncan gives Kevin the turtle doves because Kevin takes $20 out of the money he has and says that he'll be able to pay his mom back with the $20 he'd saved up from mowing lawns. And he wanted to donate it to the Children's Hospital. And what Mr. Duncan does, he takes the donations, and then Christmas, he takes the chest full of money and takes it to the Children's Hospital. Hello, Hound. And so, as appreciation for what Kevin did, Mr. Duncan gives him 2 turtle doves, and he says, it's like you keep one and then you give it to someone very special.
Yeah.
So.
How you doing, Hound?
And another nice feel-good moment because Kevin's encountered this.
Oh,
this is like the best scene. I think one of the best scenes outside of the traps. One of the best scenes is when Kevin's playing the movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, get down on your knees and tell me you love me, Cliff. And the security guard happens to be named Cliff.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, really?
And he's like, get on your knees and tell me you love me.
On your knees.
On your knees. I
love you.
You gotta do better than that.
I love it. Freaking Kevin's like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna see if I can catch. He's encountered this woman before, but we're skipping over parts. But this woman who's like a homeless woman, and she cares for the pigeons in the park, and she basically equates herself as one of the pigeons. Like New York is New Yorkers' wishes weren't in the city. That's Pennywise, yeah. Oh yeah, Kevin gets away with grabbing a girl's butt. Basically, he's caught by Marv and Harry, and they're waiting at this corner to cross the street. And Kevin just reaches over and pinches this woman's ass, And it's a woman that Marv had run into earlier, so she recognizes Marv and punches him because she thinks he pinched her. Kevin's like, he did it, and points to Harry, and she punched Harry, and that's how Kevin gets away. So, oh yeah, she was. So, but she gives a really good performance in this one.
Yeah.
She gives like a really moving performance because we find out why she's in the situation she is.
Yeah.
And most of it is not her own doing, but then another partly it is because she closes herself off from people because of like what happened to her in her past. And Kevin kind of, imparts his, wisdom and says, well, I feel like you still have a heart. Otherwise, like you wouldn't care about anyone or anything, basically, because she's afraid of having her heart broken. She's like the old man in the first one, where it's like, but in her case, like she's purposely closed herself off from other people. Yeah. Whereas the old man was like, he wanted to reach out to his estranged son, but he was afraid because, like, what if the son, refused to talk to him?
Yeah.
So there's similar beats, but enough difference where it's like it's not rinse and repeat entirely.
Yeah, she was heartbroken where the other guy initiated it because he told his son he never wanted to see him again, but then he came to regret it later on.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so I'm saying like the woman said basically kids were more impressed with her performance in this one than in her other films or something when she was giving an interview.
I liked her in Angels in the Outfield, but this one she let her Irish brogue out a lot more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where in Angels she covered it up with the American
So
accent.
she helps Kevin out. Kevin realizes she's actually not a bad person. So he offers to pay, basically pay for hot chocolate for the both of them, and ask her if there's some place we can go that's warm. And that's another scene that I really like because she's able to sneak into this top area of where the symphony performs in New York, and is able to listen to very beautiful Christmas music. And she talks about how she's heard the best performances. She's seen Frank Sinatra, Luciano Pavarotti, so because she's able to get into that area. And so, but of the I say I don't want to compare the two, but necessarily, but of the two, the connections that Kevin forms, is there one you kind of not prefer, but over the other, or do you think they're different enough that you can say they're both good in their own ways, sort of a situation?
They're both good in their own ways because the thing about Kevin is he makes interesting connections that pay off at the right time, because it is a bit of a copy paste where both of these characters who at first scare him later on end up saving his life.
Yeah.
But I do like her performance a little bit better because it drove emotion home for me,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she just really delivered a very heartwarming performance. And not to say that Robert Blossom's didn't, but he definitely did too, but it's just a greater level that she did.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree. Because I like both performances. Both are touching. They add the emotion, the emotions to the scenes where it's becomes not just a straight comedy of a kid left alone over Christmas time, things like that. He in a weird way, and well, not a weird way, but in a way Kevin grows because initially he's scared of these people.
Mm-hmm.
The first reason in the first movie is because Buzz was a dipshit and told him a story about Old Man Marley. In this case, well, you can kind of believe the kid Kevin's gonna react like this. He's a child alone in the park, and this woman doesn't exactly look normal when he first encounters her. So he's gonna the kid's gonna be scared.
Yeah. Now, yes, Trey, the church scene in the in the first one does hit harder or hit better. However, the relationship in this one works a little bit better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So she's basically, I think this movie is like, like you pointed out earlier, like goes above the first one because we have more characters to talk about. Whereas the first one, it was basically focusing, we focus on the family, but that's the family as a whole. Whereas focuses on Kevin and then the Wet Bandits, and then basically Old Man Marley in the movie with like a bunch of supporting characters around. This one here is like, well, you have Tim Curry, you have Rob Schneider and Dana Ivey in the Plaza Hotel. You have Pigeon Lady. What's her name? Rosie? Hold on. Or whatever her name is.
I don't think her name was ever revealed.
Would you go back? Site, thank you. I want to see like what she's billed as.
I believe Pigeon Lady.
Come on.
I mean, this movie had a lot of different merchandising and promotionals. I remember there was one cereal
Pigeon
box
Lady. I couldn't remember. Okay, Pigeon Lady.
Yeah. There was a cereal box that had the Home Alone 2 winter setup thing where Kevin is lost in New York. You could find the Pigeon Lady. You had to find all the things back when.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that stuff was great, man.
But so as in like the first movie, you can't have Home Alone without traps. In this case, Kevin's his uncle, his dad's brother, lives in New York.
Yep.
However, that family is not at their residence because, well, it's believed that they're in Paris, and two, like their home is being renovated. Yep. So, which ends up being perfect for Kevin because it's basically in disarray anyway from the renovation,
mm-hmm.
and two, it's a location that he knows and can use because he decides. Where in the first one, he's like, I have to protect my house. In this case, he's like, you don't mess with kids on Christmas.
Yeah.
Because Harry and Marv are going to rob the toy store. They're going to steal all the money that was donated for the children's hospital. So he's like,
and he goes right by the children's hospital and sees the kids and whatnot. And he's like, you can mess with a lot of things. You can't mess with kids on Christmas.
Yeah.
And
he calls it Operation Ho Ho Ho.
Yeah. Did you notice that this operation, these traps, had a lot more danger set to them?
I mean, Marv is electrocuted.
Yeah, I mean, this one really, it's like, you are fucking with kids, so all bets are off kind of traps. Where the first one was like, I'm defending my household, but I want you alive. Where this one, it's like, all bets off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, he could have called the cops, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not trying to write the story or anything, but I can see the cops not believing him.
Yeah,
because might think a kid's pranking.
But
in the first movie, that's a little bit of a plot hole because Kevin could have called the cops because he was at his home in New York. Probably,
it's hit or miss. But they do pay attention when he does call 911.
Yeah,
look for the fireworks in Central Park. It's like, whoa.
Oh yeah, traps in the movie could still kill though, but like this one here, it's like I said, like Marv is electrocuted. Like no one should have been able to survive that.
And a lot of people ask, well, why didn't he just let go? It's like, do you know anything about electricity?
So
your muscles are seized because of the charge going through your body. They will contract and tighten, meaning they will hold you to it as you are getting cooked.
Trying to find. Oh, gets his head lit on fire.
No, he did it. I love that. He did it. He's like, he did it. He says that as
where is the electricity? Where does he get shocked? Come on.
Oh,
here it is.
There. Yeah.
This scene, according to the trivia, Daniel Stern had Chris Columbus laughing so hard that Chris Columbus forgot to yell cut, even while Daniel Stern is like twitching on the ground, like still doing the scene after like he's like fallen and things like that. Chris Columbus was laughing so fucking hard.
Nice.
At this part because of how Daniel Stern, the screams he did, and like how he was doing it.
He's screaming like full tilt woman.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, especially when we get the bone section of it.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my god, everybody died laughing when he turns to bones or screaming bones. That was hilarious.
Another one that I laughed at. I mean, I laugh at like all the traps in this movie. But another one that I laughed at is when they're listening at the door and they're wondering what that sound is. That's like, you know, why?
I'm sorry,
and like
but if I'm hearing something like that, I'm out.
Yeah, the tool chest like doesn't crash through the door, crashes into the door. Door comes off the hinges, and they get like rammed into the wall on the opposite side.
Yeah.
And just how Daniel Stern delivers his line. It's like that's the sound of a tool chest.
Coming down the stairs.
They like both fixed their noses because they were like broken
noses. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Have you ever had your nose broken, Mara?
No, not broken.
I've had mine broken twice. Once by my cousin at the time. He was 1 year old. He tied a knot. This kid managed to tie a knot and got so excited he turned around really quickly and belted my nose, or breaking it, dislodging it. And so I had to go to the bathroom, and he's curious. He followed. He was walking at the time. And I popped it back in, and I'm like, oh my God, screaming about it. Yeah. And he got scared, and I'm like, oh shit, because I was babysitting him at the time. And it's like, no, it's not your fault, buddy. But yeah, then the second time I told my brother to take his best shot, and he did. So. Yeah.
Oh. And the brick one too, where like Marv is getting all the bricks to the face, and Harry's dodging them.
Harry, no.
There was like a reel I shared on Instagram where it's like, you know, it's like your point of view when you drop your phone on your face while you're lying in bed, and it's the scene of like the brick coming down onto Marv, the first one that comes down onto
a transition scene. Oh
yeah.
My God. Yeah, that holy shit, that would get me to jump. They used to do those I used to see those on Instagram. I got off Instagram, folks. But yeah, it's like, holy crap, man. They did some good stuff there. Eventually I might go back to Instagram with a clean slate after it's gone. Or after the new one is gone.
So yeah, so
oh, that thing he bought at the toy chest was basically a grease gun, essentially, because he uses
he greases the ladder. Yeah, so
yeah, that stuff is nothing but like green gelatinous grease. Yeah. And he also makes it Marv slip and slide on it. And I love that. He has his hand on his stomach and his arm up like this, and it's like really it's like
And I'm not trying to speed things along, chat, but like I said, I've been doing the reading stream at like 9, and I need my voice to come back. But anyway, like, inevitably, he's like Kevin is like, you know, gets the sticky bandits to chase him into the park, because where he's gonna set off the fireworks, and then where he's saved by the pigeon lady, who has a big bucket full of seed, tosses it onto Marv and Harry, because they're all sticky from the traps and everything. And, well, every pigeon within like a mile radius, it seems, just swarms Marv and Harry. May have won the battle, little dude, but you lost the war. Like, no, Kevin, Kevin wasn't expecting they'd have to be saved by the pigeon lady, but he had this fireworks set up. So
yeah, he also slid on the ice too and knocked his head. So
yeah.
That's the whole reason why he got caught.
Yeah. So, and Marv, again, like Daniel Stern just like has like good comedic timing as Marv, because he's like just like he's a little cranky because he just broke out of prison, and like he's like just getting kicked by Harry. And again, Marv is again wants notoriety because he's like, remember, we're no longer the wet bandits. We're the sticky bandits.
We're the sticky bandits.
Yes. Yeah. And he's getting kicked by like here. T. I.
Yeah. I. CKY.
Yeah. And this.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Okay, and basically, Kevin's found because the mom remembers Kevin's like about Christmas trees because he's like that's why he's upset they're going to Florida.
Yeah.
And
I love that. Enough of this gooey show of emotion.
Yeah. Like who wouldn't want like basically.
Oh yeah.
Like for those who like guess don't know. We didn't talk about this. Kevin wrote a note that he wrapped around the rock he used to break Duncan's window, basically, because that would set, basically, he knew that would set off the alarm, which, because he wanted to stop Harry and Marv from robbing the toy store. So he, wrote a note apologizing to Mr. Duncan, this is why I broke your window, and all these presents are from Duncan's toy store. Mr. Duncan sent these presents to the suite, to the Plaza Hotel. That's how, all these presents ended up there.
Yeah. How the hell did he know where to send them, though?
I'm pretty sure easy to ask around, the McAllister name.
Yeah. All right. That works.
I'd say it's relatively easy to ask around because the kid, so easy enough to figure it out and get these presents over there.
Mm-hmm.
So. And we had the reveal that Kevin was talking to Mr. Duncan because Kevin noticed the portrait.
Yeah. So. And then he says, P.S. Thanks for the turtle doves. And I love the recognition reaction of Duncan. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so great.
And then what happens with the turtle doves is Kevin gives one to the pigeon lady. Right? Which is which has the more emotional weight in this movie than we had with the first one. The first one was emotional because we see the reconciliation between Old Man Marley and his son. In this case, basically gives a true emotional connection between Kevin and the pigeon lady. So he gives it to her as his way of remembering her. And that's when Rob Schneider appears with the room service bill for $967, which would be, again,
$2,240 something.
Between $2,200 and $2,300 just in room service.
I spent $967 on room service. He hears that from half a mile away.
I love that. I love that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody in the hotel probably had their ears shot if it was that loud.
One thing that they didn't I'm not saying they had to do this, but one thing they didn't exactly show was because it was believed that someone some insane man was shooting a Tommy gun in the hotel.
Yeah.
Where are the bullet holes?
Right.
Where are the bullet holes?
Yeah.
I think it's worth a rewatch. I said earlier in the stream. Now I'm not saying this as a negative. The second one does follow similar beats to the first one. All right. Yeah. It's not a negative, basically, but it follows similar beats to the first one. However, it does stand on its own because it adds enough that it doesn't feel like it's a rinse and repeat from the first one, in my opinion. I overall prefer the first one because that became a Christmas tradition with my family, basically, to watch Home Alone around Christmas time every year. But I still love the second one. Well, you can't see it, but up there, that's just the bottom of the Gremlins poster that I have. And on Talk Nerdy last night, my nerdy Steph and I, we did a Christmas movie tier stream. Well, not stream, but tier list during Talk Nerdy, and I wanted to put Gremlins at Legendary, but I settled for Great because I was like, that is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rob Schneider's inner glee when he handed him the bill, like.
Oh yeah, because of the
And
freaking
Buzz-
gum tips. Yeah.
Yeah, well, for Buzz, it was like literally pulling the gum out of his mouth and putting it on his hand. At least Kevin put a fresh stick in Rob Schneider's
Yeah,
hand, but
right?
Buzz is like pulls out chewed gum. I'm like, really?
Nice family. Really.
Yeah, really?
It's like fucking assholes, cheapskates.
Pretty much.
It's like,
yeah,
guess
Batman
what,
Returns
Kevin?
would also be
You're
a
gonna
Christmas
work
movie.
this shit off.
And speaking of Christmas movies, tomorrow I'm like, I wanted to get the hopefully remaining chapters of The Hobbit read tonight, not because I want to get it over and done with, but because tomorrow I don't really want to be streaming, and I'm figuring to do a Discord watch party on my server of Die Hard, which is another Christmas movie.
Oh yeah.
So, but anyway, but that like basically that's where it ends. Basically, it's like when we hear the dad scream, like the movie ends. And as far as I'm concerned, there's only 2 Home Alone movies. The third one wasn't horrible, but it's like it's not like you're not missing anything if you don't watch it.
Yeah.
Then the fourth one, don't bother.
And neither bother with the fifth because there's 5 of them. Well, there's 3 imitations, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
There's Kevin McAllister's the only, or Kevin McAllister Home Alone is the only Home Alone.
Yeah, I'm like third one is okay. It's not horrible, but it's not really good either.
Jesus
But like,
Christ.
after the third one, don't like even then don't really bother with the third one. But definitely after the third one, don't bother. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they that was shit.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. But anyway, chat, that is Home Alone 2. Like, we didn't exactly go into everything that transpired in this movie. However, like, again, it's worth a rewatch if you haven't watched this movie in a while. But in a little over 20 minutes, I will be live again on my channel for the reading stream of the last 4 chapters of The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so if you like, so right here, so we have, I'll show you guys, like, literally how close we are to the end. This. Just this.
Wow.
Just this look. So, yeah.
Limp noodle.
Yeah. So, Orange Chat, let everybody know where they can find you and all that fun stuff.
Well, you can find me on my channel, Orange Hat. You can also find me on X on Thursday as we watch the movie or talk about the movie Scrooge or Scrooged.
Yes.
With
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, yeah, thank you, and a few others. Also, tomorrow night might be on the Barroom Podcast on Society Reviews at 9 p.m. Friday might do the shit show, and Sunday we'll also have a weekly review or weekly recap where we will also be discussing, or me, Kate, and possibly Novus will be discussing the last of the Langdon trilogy, Inferno. So yeah, also I'm trying to get back up to 1600 because yesterday, literally during my stream, I checked my sub count and it's like 1601. Then at the end, I check it, it's 1595. I'm like, what the fuck, YouTube?
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, I see what you sent, Megatron. Like, the only reason why I'm not playing is because sometimes if you play something through YouTube, even if it's not a movie, I could get hit with some type of claim.
Yeah.
From like either like the owners of whatever it is that I'm showing or something like that. YouTube is really fucking strange. So that's the only reason why I'm not showing. I'll watch it, but that's the only reason why I'm not showing it on stream. Because just because of like how much of an asshole YouTube has become lately. But yeah, but this is my reading stream, so in about 20 minutes now, tune in for that. I'll be like reading the final chapters of The Hobbit because we have the Arkenstone, Dragon Sickness, and 5 armies, all wanting a piece of the gold left by the, well, since the dragon is dead, it's ripe for the picking. So, but anyway, thank you again, chat. See you all in 20 minutes. Have a good rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world. And well, I'll see you shortly on my channel tonight, in Discord tomorrow for Die Hard, maybe a stream Wednesday, Christmas evening, depending on what happens, and then on Orange Chat's account talking Scrooged Thursday evening. So take care, stay safe. If I don't see you before Christmas, have a Merry Christmas. Peace.
Yep. Merry Christmas. Stay humble.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.